What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Single Player Let's Play. What you see before your eyes is basically about 35 to 40 minutes of work designing something with chisel and bits. So, as promised, I moved my energy production, my old energy production, using the thermoelectric generators and blocks of uranium, which are not good for the environment. And I've relocated it right in here, believe it or not. So that's why I've added all of this up here at the top, is because if we take a look inside, this is the exact same setup we had before. So we have our LV wire connectors going up and through to our relay. The relay is passing one single wire through the wall and into our normal relay line, which is going and powering the same old, same old. So if we come over here, we have a very happy LV capacitor, or rather, at least a happy machine here. And if we run up to our... I actually don't currently know. Yeah, we're still running our... Even from last episode, we are still running the crusher. But, fun fact, it's happy to run. It's really happy to run. It's running at full speed now. So, yeah, just thought that was pretty interesting. And thought that that was definitely worth showing. So, basically, I just designed some of these. I'm not really good with the design stuff, so I do apologize if this isn't, like, perfect. Like, I would probably understand if you were a little bit unhappy with this corner, but I'm not the best with it, and I think from down here it looks just fine. You get the idea of it being like a rounded cylinder. These I'm actually relatively happy with, because that makes a more or less circular shape. But this little corner here, I don't really know. I should probably work on kind of like rounding this out a little bit. Whatever, don't really care. Looks good enough for me. So, as far as stuff to do this episode, we have plenty of stuff in Botania that we can work on, so why don't we do that? Why don't we get started with our first set of Botania armor? So I've been running around, and we have a little bit of mana in our band of mana. And if I run up here with the morphing tool, I'm going to set this guy to make sure that it is still outputting, and we're just going to go ahead and fill our band. Because at this point, why not? So this guy will hold plenty of mana. Oh, I couldn't tell if it was dropped or not. By the way, changing over to this system has been working flawlessly. My shut-off system worked just fine, as you just saw, and as soon as this turned off, it started emitting some more. So that's quite awesome. I'm actually very happy with how that has turned out. And how are we doing on charcoal in here? Okay, we are a little low. I moved all the charcoal up here for now. And that is a full band of mana. So let's go ahead and get ourselves some iron, because we're going to do sort of a downgrade, sort of an upgrade. It's kind of cool how this is going to work out, I think. So how much mana? We don't have any mana steel. That's fine. So we're going to grab 24 pieces of iron to make some mana steel, because it's going to be a full set of armor. You can see down here in our experience area, we have our mana bar completely filled up now. Very nice, if you ask me. And so now we can go ahead and craft ourselves a full suit of mana steel. If I take off my nano armor, we'll go ahead and put this on probably an armor stand somewhere, because I don't want to forget about this stuff. It's pretty cool looking. And you can finally see my skin again. Not that you probably even cared what it ever looked like. And you can also see the Sojourner sash, by the way. If you take a look now, you can see when I put it on and take it off in my belt area. But we'll go ahead and put this on, why not? And see what it looks like. So you'll notice that I'm right off the bat getting substantially less armor production, but that's fine because we're producing a decent amount of mana. Not really a whole ton, but enough here that I feel like sooner or later we should be able to get up to Terrasteel armor with relative ease. It won't be something we can just do super quickly, but if we take a look at Terrasteel is going to use... Oh, I thought that there was a recipe in there. Well, we'll go ahead and take a look in the Lexica Botanica, or Lexica Botania, rather. So if... Why is it that it's needing me to do this again? Alright, let's see. I don't need any of these. I'm just checking things. Change scale? That's interesting. I'm gonna go and do the large scale for this book. It was automatically scaled to just the normal, like, this scale would be good, I guess. I don't know. This looks fine. I think this is what it was by default. So Terrasteel is going to take a terrestrial agglomeration plate. Everyone says Terrasteel agglomeration plate. Read that very closely. It says terrestrial. And so it's going to require a whole bunch of different runes and various other things, but we're not going to get Terrasteel any other way. So we might as well get going with that, shouldn't we? Let me grab just a handful of stone and a handful of wood. Whoops. And let me go ahead and get that armor stand that I was talking about real quick. I actually never use these, even though they're a vanilla thing now. We'll put the armor right down here, in fact. There. So currently not enchanted. I could enchant if I wanted to, and if I did, then whenever I transfer these up to Terrasteel, the Terrasteel will actually, the recipe will now retain your enchantments, and that's a feature request that I actually put in myself, and it got approved and added, so that's pretty neat. So we'll go ahead and just give this guy everything that it needs to keep us going with some living wood and living rock. Sorry, I keep on forgetting. I keep on wanting to say living wood and great wood, even though great wood is Thaumcraft. So for the agglomeration plate, we're going to need a handful of things. So we're going to need several, and boy do I mean several runes. This is actually part of I don't know, part of the grind, I guess, with this mod, but it's not really that bad. A lot of people think, oh man, this is terrible, awful, blah, 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 blah. It really is just not that bad at all. So we'll go ahead and knock it out real quick. We're going to need some, let me see here. We're going to need fishing rod, sugarcane, and bone meal. I think I have enough fishing rods out here to combine them all together to get a working fishing rod, because I don't even care about these. Like, there's a few of these that have, like, this one is soulbound and mending. Like, goodness. It's actually a decent bow. We'll just use these two unenchanted fishing rods. The fun part, though, this is one thing that I forgot to mention, and I've been meaning to do this anyways. We're getting a ton of solidified experience. So if you remember the Silk Touch mending sickle, boom, we can like repair it massively all at once. And we can completely repair, whoops, definitely meant to do that. There we go, fully repaired. So that's my second mending fishing rod now, because I've went ahead and fixed the first one. I'm just fixing these for fun at this point. I don't even know what I'm going to use them for. Soulbound, Luck of the Sea, and Mending. I might try to enchant these two together, just because. Why not? So, for the fishing rod, oh, and like I said, Diamond Sickle, fully repaired now. Pretty great. Let's see, we'll take these and everything back in its place. So, we're going to need to get a few things. We're going to need string. Do I have any carpet left? Yes, I'm going to need a feather. I'm going to need plenty of iron and plenty of, well, I'm actually going to need one mana pearl. Let's see, that'll be 5 for that recipe, so we'll be good there. I need bone meal and sugarcane. And that will also be a piece of that, and we're going to need this and this and this and a piece of iron. I like to map these out a little bit. I'm also going to need gunpowder for a lot of these recipes, these two recipes in particular. We're also going to need, let me think, we're going to need nether wart and a coal block. And we're going to need stone and a mushroom. Let's see, so that's stone, coal block, mushroom, and then this is going to be, let me see, nether brick. I couldn't remember what the other item was. Nether brick and gunpowder. And so both of these are going to require their own as well. And then, let's see. I'm going to need a block of mana steel and 3 lapis blocks. In fact, I think I'm going to need 7. So let's get on it. So I'm going to need to turn all of you and all of you. So we can start with that one. Let's run downstairs and get some of the living rock. Alright, well you guys know the gist, so at this point I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of these, and I'll go ahead and come back when we're all done. Alright, that's the last one. So let's go ahead and craft everything together here. We're going to need, for the, let's see, so fire, air, water, earth. There's our Terrasteel or terrestrial agglomeration plate. And if I come down here and grab 5 living rock, we can put it down probably somewhere. I just don't know where precisely. Kind of getting a little cramped up here. I gotta admit, I didn't quite plan this out too great. But I think we'll live. So to make this, you're going to need a checkerboard of lapis blocks and living rock. And now all I need is 2 sparks. So to make sparks, we're gonna need two of these, which is just gonna be some blaze powder. I'm not really sure where that zombie is. I'll have to find him. Bet he's down here. Unless he's in my house. He's right there. Okay, well, I found you. Now I gotta kill you. What I get for accidentally leaving open a little space there. We'll take a quick nap, and then if I re-equip my cat, we can blink out and away. So what we're going to need at this point is, with our sparks, we can hook one of them up to the terrestrial agglomeration plate and the other one to the mana pool. Now all we need is to get a mana pearl and a mana diamond, and let me see. Also going to need a mana steel. So with the mana pearl, the mana diamond, and the mana steel, we should be good to go, I think. Haven't done this in a couple of months, so I'm hoping that I'm not rusty on anything. My ring of magnetization is not equipped, so that'll keep you from being a nuisance. And boom. So we're going to start rapidly draining this mana pool. It's going to take half of a mana pool to make 1 Terrasteel ingot. Honestly, kind of not very crazy for that, but that's okay, because we're going to be using our first piece of Terrasteel not for Terrasteel armor, but actually to make a portal to Alfheim. Because now they aren't quite so intensive on your energies. So there we go, and we can make our Terrasteel nuggets. And if we take a look, it's going to require our entire setup is going to require 2 of these Natura pylons and then 1 Elven Gateway core, which, as it just so happens, is 9 nuggets worth. Didn't that just work out nicely? Now you're going to notice our mana pool over here is miserably low, though, so we'll have to come back to the rest of the Terrasteel armor set later. But I thought it would be cool to at least go ahead and make the what is it called? The steel? No, is it what is it? Elementium. The Elementium armor. Because I haven't actually ever used Elementium armor. So I kind of figured it'd be worth it, and it's pretty cheap. It's just an elven trade, so this is just going to be 48 iron. By the time we get the portal open, it'll be quite a bit of mana, but I don't know. It won't be that bad, I don't imagine. So we're going to go ahead and get started on some of that, but I'm going to have to sit here and wait for a little while we get some more mana, because, well, we just used it all up, and I don't quite have the means currently to get us some better mana generation yet. So you're going to have to bear with me on that. We're going to probably do some cool stuff sooner or later with better mana gen, but we're not quite there. So, you know, one thing that I realized I could do is over here in the factory, I've been having a bit of a hard time with the quantity of creosote. Yes, sir, we are full. So, I think I have a solution. I forgot about these. I don't know how I forgot about these, but I forgot about the existence of silos. So why don't we get ourselves a silo from, or not silo, goodness, the tanks, the multi-block tanks from Immersive Engineering. So I think I remember how to build them, in fact, so we could probably save ourselves a good bit of time. I was just in the middle of some farming since I wasn't really doing anything else that was worth doing anyways. So I bred and pruned out some of the cows and bred and sheared the sheep. We're doing pretty well, actually, I would have to say, with the animals. I could do auto-breeding stuff, but I honestly don't think we need that. I don't have any particular use for animals, so really I don't know what the point would be. But what we can do is grab some iron. We're going to need some iron plates for this. So the silo is going to be 8, 16, 24, 32, 33, 34. So we'll grab 36 iron and turn these into plates, because there is not going to be another way to make plates after a while. I could just use this recipe, but I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to try to keep everything a little bit balanced. So I'm just going to go ahead and wait for this to do its thing, and I'll be back in just a little while. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, that's right. Never mind. I'll be back in just a little while when this is done. Alright, plates complete. So let's get ourselves some sheet metal. And we already have some treated wood fence. So now what we need to do is figure out an elegant way of moving all of these fluids, because, quite frankly, the tank is exactly where we need to be. And so we're kind of in a bit of trouble here. I'm trying to think of what our tank options could potentially be, but really not too sure. Pressurized fluid tanks I don't think are going to help us in this situation. Oh man, we might be in trouble. We might be in trouble. You know what? Why don't I get my materials and U-book out, and let's take a look and see what it takes to make a second tank. That was the wrong book. I meant to open this. So if we take a look at the... Oh yeah, and I forgot. We could probably do a new bow while we wait, because at this point we're kind of just sitting on our hands waiting. Oh my, that has some interesting gravity. So this is the design for the Tinker Tank, but I don't necessarily want that. But we do want the tank controller. I think that's all it's called. It's just the tank controller, Tinker Tank controller. Perfect. And we'll just grab a lot of seared bricks, because I think this can be mostly solid. We're going to need 1 drain for the I/O, And let me go ahead and get some more grout, because at this point it's not like we don't have the materials for it. And we can smelt this up very quickly. It seems as though at some point I broke my redstone signal here. Whoops. Let's fix that then, why don't we? Where was I even powering this from? Was that... I bet you money? Yep, it was right there. Oh boy, that's going to seriously complicate this. Shoot. Because I can no longer apply a redstone signal to that block. There's just no way, no how. You know what? We're getting a little bit sidetracked, but redstone phantom face. This should work, right? Right? So normal phantom face. So this is going to be empowered Restonia crystal, and that's two empowered diamantine crystals. So we'll grab diamond. We need two of these. Is that 121 or 101? 121. That's not bad. We're doing pretty well. In the meantime, I'm getting distracted. We can go ahead and cook this still, but I need to get this fixed. That's kind of important. Phantom face. So we're going to need the diamantine, which is, that's right, 2 clay and light blue. Light blue. We're going to need 2 of you. And then clay, we'll need 2 of you. And 4 of you. I grabbed one too many of everything and just put something away that I probably still wanted. Well, I'll have to figure that out in a minute, because right now I'm clearly in the middle of some other stuff. So we'll do that, 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 and that. Oh, duh. Diamantine, not diamond. Don't know why I am just so out of it today. I guess that's what I get for recording several episodes. I've actually been working on this single player for quite a while. And then we should have Restonia. Let's just go ahead and get another stack of Restonia crystals. And then I think to make the empowered one, it's red. Yeah, so it's going to be bricks of both varieties. And redstone. And red dye. Do I have any poppies? Flour? No. Okay, well. I will just come out here and pick 4 poppies. Works for me all the same. Are you a red tulip? Yep, that's acceptable. And that gets me my 4 red dye. And in fact, I may just go ahead and save myself the resources. Why? 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 Every freaking time. Every freaking time. I just wasted an entire stack of redstone on crap I'm never going to use. God, I like to use the CAD, but geez, sometimes it's just such a useless piece of crap. Gosh, this is why I get really annoyed with that thing. Like, there's several things that it does better than others, and I like the programmability of it, but if I'm not even looking in the general direction of redstone, then don't do anything. I'll probably just go ahead and make a whole block, just to be efficient. Why not? Of course, this is going to take a while, and a decent amount of RF, as you can see. But at some point, it'll be finished. I do like the block recipes, because they keep me from having to go and get a lot of these tedious little mid-resources, but definitely help me out as far as I'm fine with using a ton of RF. That doesn't really bother me. Oh, that's right. I still don't have any black quartz, like, automatically made for me. Should probably actually go upstairs and teach these recipes, because this is a good recipe for you to know. So let's do, why don't we teach you how to make black quartz. On top of that, learn how to make a coil, and then an advanced coil. Because I use these items pretty frequently, so I should teach it. And we will give you an all-new crafter. Also, I just realized something. I do not have a... I can't craft here. I don't have a void upgrade for my hemp, so I should make that real quick. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but there's a lot of stuff to do. You gotta understand. So, hemp we're doing good on, and I've been worried about potentially exceeding these. Cool. So I think we should be good. Let me teach the exporter here to export leather helmets. Still having to keep up with the mob farm a little bit just to make sure that the drops from it are getting, like the trash from the drops is actually getting trashed, because that's important. So now if I do coil, start, go for it, phantom face, excellent, and then turn you into a phantom redstone face. Very good. Come on, there we go. I can click. So now, ideally, I haven't tried this before on a machine. If I do stored, connected, if I provide a redstone signal here, I don't see why that wouldn't work. Maybe? Hopefully? I might need to actually hook a wire directly into it, which isn't a big deal. Yep, it looks like maybe. Be nice if I could do the redstone inverter card on this, but... What about now? How are you feeling about redstone now? Kind of a fat chance this is gonna work, but whatever. Sometimes it's worth a shot. What if I bind this to a different block? What if I bind the redstone signal? See, that's the problem, is I can't really. What if I bind the redstone signal going to this? That's not going to start working, is it? Nope. Does not seem so. Well, shoot. I'll mess with this some other time, because I feel like there's potential for that to be really, like, perfect. Back to seared brick stuff. Let's go ahead and get... we're going to want probably... Seared bricks is what I put away earlier that I wanted to keep. We get about 20 of those, and then we'll do seared... What is it? Seared glass now? Yeah. Give me a lot of that stuff. This stuff is cool looking. Granted, we're only doing this temporarily, and in fact I should grab ender fluid conduits as well, because our last setup was before we had so many ender pearls and a decent amount of resources for mining. And so we're just going to set up a temporary tank up here, I think. So we'll do 3 here, and then I think I'll do that and that. There we go. And so I will just barge right on down in here. And I'm going to break this gauge. And inserts. So we'll tell you to auto extract. So that's going to start emptying the gauge. Gauge is emptied. This is how I'm just going to temporarily store fluids here, because at this point I don't want to run into issues. So I did this because, I wanted to empty out this without any waste, because I do really genuinely want to keep all of these fluids if I can, but sometimes we just don't get many options. There's a reason why I'm not just giving up here. I'm actually setting all this work up, is because I do actually genuinely care about creosote. So you should be draining and you should be filling. Yep, and then I'll just put this here and you should also be draining. There we go. And so this should be drained here shortly, and then we can start working on our large tank from Immersive Engineering. So if you haven't messed with the Tinker tanks though, they're really cool. Like, they don't have to be set in stone as far as shape or size, and they store quite a substantial amount of fluids inside of them, as you can tell. Alright, so you are now empty. Yay. Empty, empty, empty. That's important. Now, to fit with the theme of immersive engineering, I want to change this. I'm just going to have to deal with losing a bucket there. I'm going to grab... I did forget to get this, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. We're still waiting on mana anyways, so it's not like it's a huge deal. We're going to grab a fluid tank. And the fluid tank is helpful because we're going to want some fluid pipes. I think the pipes are just... Okay, so these are actually going to be more iron plates. That's fine. For the sake of saving time, I am going to craft these over here, because at this point I just want to kind of cut this and be done. So let's just go ahead and do that, and we'll make some iron plates, because I love these fluid pipes. They're really pretty. I have a few complaints, but there are none that are like really a big deal. We're going to grab some of our immersive engineering scaffolding as well, because I'm going to show you a pretty cool little feature with them. So the problem with the fluid pipes from immersive engineering is that they don't actually pull, they only push fluids. So they don't actually pull fluids out of an inventory. So what we can do to resolve this is have them pushed. So we will tell you to auto extract on that face, and if we put a tank down, you're going to see it's going to start storing creosote oil, which is going to get pulled out of the tank. Should be, at least. It seems like it stopped though. Maybe that's all that was in there. That's definitely possible. Yep. So we can tell it to pull from the top and push out the bottom, because now we can get started building our tank. So if I remember, I don't think I've forgotten, because I've just recently built one of these. To build the tank, you're going to build a sort of ring here, and then the top one here is going to be solid. And if I grab my wrench and right click somewhere, there we go, it will form into this fluid tank. Super neat stuff, looks nice, yada yada. And so what I can do from here is, to keep this visually appealing, we will hook up these nice fluid pipes, because I think these look really cool. Like, check these out. Look at these. They're like massively awesome. So we'll tell you, I told you to push from the bottom, but that's not what we actually want. We'll tell you to push from this side. And notice that it's going to start dumping our fluids in here. And as soon as I hold a fluid item, or a liquid holding item, it's going to tell me what's inside right here by the tooltip. So we have creosote oil. Fantastic, isn't it? So at this point, all that's left is we will just need to, let me see, I don't know if this works, so let's find out. Let's just tell you to insert come back up here to the tank we have temporarily and tell it to auto extract. Is this going to work? I don't know. Oh yeah, it looks like it is actually. That's very nice. So this is going to take a little while because this fluid tank doesn't actually accept fluids at a very high rate. So, or rather, not the fluid tank, but necessarily the pipes. So one thing I did mention is that this is going to be here and not really a big deal, but we can actually make that look slightly better by sticking a scaffold on it. And so now at this point we don't have all that much that we can change or would need to change. It looks pretty good at this point. So we can cover everything up. I don't really need this evidently, but I'm just going to leave it there. I don't really care. It'll give us something that we can use to dispose of extra fluids later once we get to that point. And as for this, we're just going to have to wait. So I will be basically just going to wait and tear this down. I'm not even going to show it on camera. It doesn't really even matter. So yeah, cool stuff. Alright, yes, we are back at this. I won't be so easily swayed. So here's my plan. You ready for this one? I'm actually kind of curious to see how this goes. I got myself a regular phantom face this time, not one of the redstone ones. We're going to grab some item conduits and basically I'm going to make this work. I'm also going to need another facade. I've got one. I just need to repaint it. Paint you into Celtic andesite. And the new plan is this. We will take a item conduit and we'll tell you just in, out, extract on, or insert on black, extract on white, always active. Put the redstone face down and tell you to insert on white and extract on black, always active. And I might need to move this actually, come to think of it. I should probably move this here. So let me grab one more item conduit. And the redstone inverter upgrade is just going to be some tin plates and a lever, which it just happens we have a lever thanks to this not working the way it should. Or rather, changing behavior expectedly, but unfortunately. So insert on white, is that correct? Yep, perfect. So now we'll link the phantom face from here to here. Yes. Connection is fine and working. So now, in theory, if I took something like, well, hang on. First I want to get the redstone inverter upgrade because this should free us up another, not one, but 2 slots here. And so now, in theory, what's something that smelts? Well, we'll just do sand. Why not? If I take some sand and I put it in the chest, it's going to start smelting, although very slowly. Because right now the redstone inverter upgrade is still kicking on. And it should extract. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now it's a mystery as to where these items are going and why. Yay, awesome. Actually, obviously they're going there, but still. Very happy. I love stuff like this. I love the phantom faces. They're freaking awesome. If you haven't played with them, do it. They're expensive, but they're well worth it. And you're going to love them. And let me just go ahead and reset the ejector upgrades. And I hate to say it, but I think we're going to call it an episode there. We didn't actually move towards anything in specific. We just did a lot of like random housekeeping stuff. But sometimes you just have to do it. And I didn't want to do a lot of this stuff off camera because I wanted you guys to see it. I wanted you guys to join me on this adventure. So, yeah. Oh, you know, one last thing I can do is if I grab the ender chest from Vanilla Minecraft, I can make a new compartment for my backpack, because we haven't done a compartment for the backpacks in a long time. In fact, we haven't done anything with our backpack in a long time, so why don't we? We'll make the new compartment ender. And if we go into the backpack upgrade slot, I'm going to take out this armored thing. I'm not even sure why I wasted my resources on that. We'll just trash it. But now we have even more storage. Yay. So we have our normal storage and then the ender inventory storage. Not really sure what I'll ever use that for. I've been kind of considering switching from the morpho wrench or the morphing tool back to the original wrenches used, just because sometimes it gets kind of finicky having it like switch between them all the time. So I might have a dedicated wrench bag and like just have a dedicated bag section for that. So yeah, pretty much gonna call it there. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Rest in peace, armor. We'll start saving up some mana to get our stuff done from here on out. And just double checking everything looks good. So I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed.